Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another day of Vlogmas. Today I thought I would do a video about my holiday must-haves. So I wanted to do this video because as somebody who takes the holiday season so seriously, who just likes to go as far as I do, and I'm constantly finding room for growth on that. Like I literally just talked to my friend about why don't I do advent calendars? You know, and I'm like, I do them kind of. I feel like a lot of them are just all the crap that nobody bought throughout the year. They're shoved into an advent calendar and try to make money off of. But I have seen some really good ones this year that I think would be cool. So I'm kind of it's on my list for next year. You know, I'm all about personal growth. But I have accumulated quite a few things that I really love or things that I really prioritize, and in the spirit of the holiday season and in the spirit of my Vlogmas, I really wanted to do a video kind of in the vein that Amazon favorites was, where it's just all my festive favorites from Amazon. This is just all my festive favorites, things that I really aim to have every year, and things that I find really keep me in the moment, not stressed out, you know, waking up every day and feeling festive, and not in a hokey way, but just in you're present, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's so easy to get sucked out of the spirit of why you're doing everything because you're just pissed off at lights not working, or where's that extension cord, or any number, you know, why do I never have enough flour or powdered sugar? There's cocoa powder is my latest one. There's constantly stuff like that, right? But this is something that I find I really keep all those kind of rougher patches at bay. You know what I mean? You're not going to bed pissed off about cocoa powder. You're going to bed feeling good because you've done all this other stuff. So let's dive in. The first thing I would definitely recommend to you is festive fragrances. I don't necessarily mean perfume, but I mean home fragrances. So my very first day of Vlogmas was my holiday candle haul. And I really... Even if you're not into candles, you could do reed diffuser. I have one in my office. You could do those where I'm looking into a oh my god, I can't talk. I'm looking into a nebulizing diffuser, a larger home sized one for next year. There's options, right? It's not just all, it's not just Bath and Body Works is my point. So, but whatever floats your boat. If Bath and Body Works does that, Godspeed. Now, I said this multiple times, but if you're new to my channel, scent is a huge driver for me. I'm very environmentally influenced, my overall mood, productivity, all of that is significantly tied to my environment. So for me, it's definitely a worthy investment to take those things seriously. And just having my Christmas tree candle or whatever it is a cinnamon holiday spice. I had 30 in that video, so take your pick. All of those really do add to the whole house feeling festive and warm and cozy. And I've said this so many times, I feel in Vlogmas, but my aesthetic overall with the holidays is all is calm and all is bright. I like my home to feel magical. That's my goal. I want you to walk in, well, this year you have to live here for that, but I want you to walk in and feel just kind of swept away a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't want you to have to take a Xanax to enjoy my house. It's not one of those things. It doesn't need to pop at you. It just needs to feel calm and twinkly and make you happy. That is my whole goal. So festive home fragrances, I find they really heighten that feeling, you know what I mean? Because scent's such a huge sense, and having something just throughout the home, depending on where you're walking too, sometimes it varies, but just having things that just feel so noticed and touched and kind of you know, just really thought through. We were working outside yesterday. We were like doing something with the outside lights, a tree, or I don't even know. And I said to him, I said, I don't know why this just came into my head, but you know in Lebowski, when Julie Moon goes, and thorough. We were doing something and it was like really thorough, and I just thought, and thorough, and I was sort of like howling laughing, and I landed like nowhere. Yeah, I cannot more highly recommend getting yourself some festive home fragrances in whatever form you want them in. Something else I think you should do if you're so inclined, they definitely help me, is having at least a few like little festive outfits. This is one of my Tipsy Elves dresses. It's like a little sweater dress. I really enjoy it. I think it's so lovely to get up and like put on your little festive whatever. I live in, if you're new, I live in Austin, Texas. So it's, while it's chilly for us currently, it's really not that cold. So like, and you can get kind of hot, you know what I mean? Kind of depending on what you're doing. So I tend to wear like a tank or a cami or something like that with like a sweater or something sheer over top of it, just to kind of keep me temperate. I end up getting some like festive colored tanks and like camis for the holidays this year, just especially because since we're home, you know what I mean? Like we're not going anywhere, so I don't have an excuse to buy a new dress. So another thing I'm a big believer in is my nails. Weirdly, one of the hardest things for me this year was the lack of my appointments. Like I really, and I have said this to Jeremy so much this year, but I just really noticed, especially progressively through, like the longer I went, the more I noticed how much I value those relationships and that time I get to spend with my friends. And everybody who does something for me, you spend so much time with them, they become friends of yours, you know, and you're invested in them and you want the best for them and you miss them. And I miss birthdays and I missed, you know, like it sucks, man. So festive nails this year, I got mine off Etsy. I bought 3 different sets. This is my second of 3. And then the girl who does my hair, Becky, she's amazing, and she basically filmed a video and sent me this long text of like how to put them on that they don't pop off every day. So it was just like awesome. Whatever works for you, but for me, it makes such a difference. Like it really does. And like I miss getting my lash extensions, but I can put falsies on, and I miss getting my hair done, but I can cut my own bangs. And like I have extensions, so like, you know, they're way lower and it's like way ratty, but like we'll figure it out, right? But the nails was something that I was like, I really didn't have a solution for, and so she came in clutch on that, and it was awesome. But whatever that is for you, so if it's you just paint your own nails or you get those stickers or whatever, right? Like for me, it really drives me. And I've had my nails done forever. So like, it's like since I was like a child. So like, I don't like not having them done. Another thing that I really highly recommend are festive drinks and ingredients. And what I mean by that is cocktail, mocktail, hot chocolate, mulled wine, cider, whatever that looks like to you, whatever like your palate is. There is something to be said for those festive drinks on like a Tuesday, you know, not even on the weekends. Like, yeah, you can totally do that then, but like it is about the season, right? The season just doesn't exist on a couple of days. It's a whole season. So those things, making the cupcakes, the cookies, and the brownies, and the whatever else I made, and you know, or I've got on deck for later because I bake like every week during December. If you've noticed when I'm like expanding, it actually isn't because of what I'm baking, and it isn't because of the candy in the house. I gained weight. I can tell you exactly what it was. I had to quit the Peloton for a little bit because of my back, and I had some other shit going on, but like that's solved. But the other thing is this freaking peppermint white chocolate pretzel crisps. It would horrify you to know how many of those I've eaten this year. So I actually can see how much I've gained from those goddamn things. And I've banned them from our house for the rest of this year now. I told him, like, we can do it again next year, but we cannot be buying 5 bags at a time because I eat them. And that is not okay. I am not that tall. 10 pounds on me, you can really see it. And I'm like, no. It's gotta go. And I'm not going anywhere. I don't have a basal metabolic rate that I had last year. This shit adds up. But yeah, I say all that and then I go back to festive drinks and ingredients. You should do that. You should do that. Live your life. Make yourself happy. Like, I'm really not beating myself up about my weight right now because, like, Rona. And I know it'll come off. I know what to do. I'll be fine. But, like, I'd rather have the memories. You know, right now I'd rather have those memories, and I'd rather find ways to hack it and still have the memory than to be like pissed off because I only want, or I can only have whatever. Yeah, anyway, so if it's whatever your palate, whatever your family traditions, whatever that is for you, having those things for me, I love it. I mean, it's grueling as all hell when you're baking. I mean, for us, we bake, like I think I baked like 300 things. Some stupid number. But I do love it. And I say this every year. I do this to myself, but I love that chaotic, frenetic energy around the holidays. I love the hustle and bustle. I love the family stuff. I love having the kids' friends over. Like, I really love it. I love being stressed about that kind of stuff. And this year, because we didn't have, like, we don't have any, their friends obviously aren't coming over. None of that. So, like, the doorstep drop-off things, that I had to do that just because I needed it in my soul. My body was pissed at me for a day or two, but, like, I felt really happy that I did it, you know, or that we did it. And we did it actually on our anniversary, which was, we were joking. We're like, that's very fitting for us because we're always the people, I don't want this to come across as like self-aggrandizing, but like we're very, we're always pretty quick to be like, what do you need? How can we help? What can we do? We're very conscious of the fact that, like, yes, while we are high risk, and yes, while we have made some major sacrifices this year, in terms of our, you know, lifestyle and shitty decisions that we had to make. Like, my dad's not able to come spend holidays with us, all that. We're really, really, really fortunate that we have a roof over our head. We're able to give Christmas to our friends and to our family. We're able to give the kids a great Christmas. I was able to, we were able to help out a couple of families locally. I don't want to like get into that because I don't like to talk about when we do it. You know what I mean? That's not the point. But I really love being in a position where I can share and I can basically, like, for me, what it is I like being the person that reminds you why this season is so special. That's the easiest way I can put it to you. Like, it's this season of magic and of giving, and it's like, oh, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to both of us, actually, to be able to just like share the love, you know, and like spread some cheer and remind people, especially because, I mean, I feel like I'm 35 years old. So like I was raised, and my brother's 7 years older than me. So like I was raised with a lot of good and bad Christmas, you know, like the media and everything. So like you watch happy movies, but then you also see shitty Christmases and how holidays aren't nice for everybody. And so something that I have always strived to do to some degree is just make somebody else's holiday season a little better, you know, in whatever way I can that year. This year we're really, despite everything that happened, we were in a position where we were able to do that for a few families, and it means a lot to be able to do that, just to know that you've been a positive influence, especially in a year that's been so rough. It's just been nice to be able to do that. So that's not like a tangible must-have, but for me it's something that I really aim to do. Not just, like, I try to do it throughout the year, but especially at the holidays when it can just bring up so much not great memories or makes you feel like whatever your situation is just staring you dead in the face, and it doesn't make you feel any better about it, right? Like, I understand that. I've been in that boat plenty of times. I don't enjoy those memories, but they do teach you a lot. And ultimately, if I can be some sort of positive force in other people's lives, especially in a time where they might need it the most, I'm totally gonna do that. Okay, so off my little moral soapbox. Twinkle lights. So hard turn. So twinkle lights to me make the holidays. Like, they really do. And so so much so that when we moved in together, we got a 12-foot tree because that's how tall our ceiling was at the time. And I was like, well, if we can fit it, I'm gonna buy it. And yeah, so like having tons of lights on the tree and having the garland and having, you know, we've got 3 trees just at this house, and at the Forever house we're gonna have way more because we want to move them. I do think about that kind of stuff, but it's so nice to just have a house that just kind of sparkles at you, you know, and just, for me, it's a total mood elevator too. It like chills you out. Have a glass of wine or some spiked cocoa and just chill out in front of the tree, and it lights up your presents all nice. And he's been giving me so much shit because he has to wrap my presents from him and from my dad. And so I wrap all of our presents. So I've wrapped like at least 150 things this year, right? Which sounds crazy, but like, we have kids and we have family and we've been sending stuff, and I like to give a bunch of little things or a bunch of things or whatever, not the point. So anyway, so I've wrapped every single thing that's underneath that tree. And he was like, you realize, he said this in bed to me last night, he starts laughing and he goes, the irony that the person who did all of the wrapping under the tree, their presents are gonna look like shit because they didn't get to wrap them. And I was just like, I am telling you, if you put them in boxes that I don't like, that don't tell me what it is, I'll wrap them, because I'm so obsessed with the aesthetic of that tree and the presents. And I'm like, please don't wrap it like shit. I beg you. Put it in an Amazon box so I don't know what it is and I'll wrap it. And he's just like, he loves the fact that I think he's like incapable of doing this. So he just likes to like rail on me. And yeah, so on that note, good gift wrap. Good gift wrap, I find over the years, I have learned is very, very much a game changer. I went through a period when I was like a kid where I would wrap it in newspaper because I thought it was like punk, and I was like really into the Ramones, like CBGB, so I was like really like punk rock. And I went through that phase, and then I went through the brown craft paper phase because it's cheaper. And then I went through like that cheap ass paper phase where like it just tears on you, right? And so gift wrap doesn't have to be like outrageously expensive, but you should invest a little bit in it, especially if it's going to be underneath your tree for any kind of real time. Because two things. One, good gift wrap stays closed. I was a total like gift rat. Like, I would try to open all my presents when I was a kid in my mom's closet, and I thought I was so slick. Probably wasn't. But I could, because the gift wrap would lift. Now, because I did that for so long, I am like, it's like guerrilla warfare when I'm wrapping those presents. I mean, like, not, but you know, when I'm wrapping those presents, because I wrap them like I was gonna peek, you know. And in some ways I feel really bad for these kids, because I'm like, you got no clue who you're up against between the two of us. Like, we are skilled at these things. But yeah, good gift wrap makes a huge difference, both just for gifts and honestly, you could decorate with it too. Like you could wrap boxes and just put it places and make it look cute. So another thing, if you are in a position where, you know, maybe you don't live in America, you live in a country that's handling Rona better, so you're able to have holidays with your family or whatever, whatever your situation is, if you're safely able to pull it off, having those stocked snacks and necessities are so helpful. And they just take so much stress away, which is great. So whether those are like holiday snacks or toilet paper, paper towels, hand soap, dish soap, whatever that is, that stuff, that feeling, I said this in my I think I said this in my life hacks video, but that feeling of just, we have enough. We're like, we got this. We're not going to run out today in the middle of dishes or whatever. So helpful. And also just having like food for everybody to pick at so they don't feel like they're like having to hodgepodge together a meal. If you're going to go through all the effort of hosting and you're able to do it, do it. I'm actually like really bummed because I had already bought my dad like really loves kimchi. And so I'd already bought him this big thing of kimchi before we decided that he wasn't coming down, that it would be safer for him to not come down, let's put it that way. So another thing on, kind of on that note, alcohol. Wine for me is typically the route I take, but making sure you are not conservatively, but realistically, and oftentimes liberally stocked up on all your booze is so nice, because it sucks when you're making Bailey's hot chocolate and that bottle weighs so damn much empty that you don't realize that you don't have any more Bailey's in it. That's why we buy 2 bottles at a time. That's why I buy at least 6 bottles of wine every time I buy wine. Usually I buy like a case because I'm smart and I know myself. I also have a core van, so like I can ration, but still, some days you need the whole bottle. But it's 2020, so no judgment. Another thing, obvious, and this is like probably the most obvious one, is music, movies, general like entertainment. I am actually planning on doing a whole video about my favorite holiday like media. I don't know what the title of that video is going to be yet, obviously. That is a rough draft. But I wanted to do a video on everything that we watch or listen to during the holidays, because we definitely have some like go-to classics that we watch a lot or we'll watch. There's a few that we like save, and then there's a few that we watch like repeatedly, especially because we've got little kids, so like they want to watch the same movie every day. You know, it's like the same 3 movies every day. So I feel like between music and movies and everything else, we've really figured it out. That's a big one. I mean, we have Sonos throughout the house, so I listen to Christmas music while I'm getting ready every day, or I'll listen to it while I'm doing my Cinderella time. Basically, whenever I'm not filming, I'm listening to Christmas music, or if you ever hear music over my videos, that's because I'm listening to Christmas music and I don't want to get a copyright slam. And lastly, my final must-have, patience. I am totally serious. Now, where you source your patience from is totally on you, because sometimes for me, it comes from wine. But I find whatever it is that gets you to calm down and gets you to be patient and gets you to be in the moment, all of these things do that for me. And that's the most important part, right? You are doing all of this for the magic of it. You're doing all of this because you love it. And so whatever helps you calm down and be present and to just enjoy it, you should do those things. So patience is not something that I was born with. It's something I've learned to develop over my decades on Earth. And especially with kids, I don't necessarily find it to be challenging with kids, because it's such an easy like conversation to have with them, where it's like, no, you just wait. Now I say that, but I'm not a parent that like would give the kids presents early. Like, I don't care, you're gonna wait. I never got that. I don't really understand it. Like, I don't really understand why, like, we don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of lost on me, but whatever, like, to each their own. I find that kids have actually taught me to be more patient, because it is like constantly challenging whatever it was that you wanted to do. You know, so whatever the outing is, or whatever the tradition was, or whatever it is. Kids don't have the ability to really forecast and plan, and they don't, everything is immediate, right? So you might have this great idea for literally anything, and they woke up in a bad mood, or they, I don't know, this thing isn't purple anymore. I don't know, like anything, just name it. Like if you've ever hung out with a kid, like you can fill in those blanks. And that, it's taught me to not only be able to communicate to them in a way that makes them understand, where it's like, I'm not gonna do something nice for you and get punished the whole time, so we're just not gonna do it. But you could also, you explain effort. Like, I love it. That's my whole MO in life, right? I like things that take a lot of effort. That's why I typically gravitate towards luxury. I like craftsmanship. I like things that took real work. That's why, I mean, it's like, that's why whenever Jeremy builds me anything, I'm just like in awe of him and of it, because I'm like, you just made that. Like out of nothing. And so being able to show them that so much of this takes time, you know, like it took somebody a lot of time to do that, or a lot of whatever to do that. And so literally, like down to when we were baking and they didn't understand, they wanted to put the cookies in the little totes like right away, and I was like, no, because you have to let all your hard work set, like all your icing. That I made them wear masks and gloves when they were decorating the cookies, you know, on account of Rona. But she wants, like the oldest one was like, I want to put the cookies away, and I was like, right, but like they have to set, otherwise you're gonna smudge all your hard work. And she's like, oh, that makes sense. And understanding that, like, this is why you start when you do. You know, you kind of teaching patience and value for time and value of effort all together at the same time. But also, like, this is why we do things. You know, this is how we show safely this year to our friends and our family that we love them and we're thinking of them, and we hope they have a happy holiday. You know, happy holidays. I think if you had asked me like several years ago, I probably would not have said that. But now it's something that I mean, like daily notice, and it's definitely a must-have, but it's become something that's I'm so fond of, right? Like, because you get to teach lessons, but you teach them in a classroom that you built, or around stuff that took years to acquire. And, you know, and just that special isn't instant. It's very rarely instant. And that is such a great lesson to learn from the holidays, and from, I guess, maybe not necessarily the scale of it, but just the appreciation of it. So that's definitely become one of my favorites. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all tomorrow.